Apartment owners getting charged extra by integrated networks. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heise here and welcome to another episode of Heise Says. I thought this would be an interesting topic to discuss. A viewer let me know about this issue with integrated networks becoming more and more common in a lot of apartment buildings. Now, what is an integrated network? Well, let's have a look here. It's a provider of water, electricity, and internet in your building. They're your power company and your water company and your internet provider. And if you want to change, well, you just need to remove their network from inside your building. So often running up the tower, they will create a new title, service call, and companies like WinConnect will install their cabling, metering, and other equipment in order to allow them to provide you with services. Now, it's a really good deal for the developer, not so good for individual tenants. So guys, if you like these type of videos and think that more people need to be made aware of them, please share them out. Share the channel, share this video. If you know anyone who's even thinking about getting into an apartment or buying one, make sure they see this video because they may not have heard about integrated networks or what some of the issues that can arise. And I guarantee you the real estate agent that's going to sell you that apartment in that building isn't going to let you know. Or maybe they have to, but you know what I mean. So we don't need to worry about just toxic land. We don't need to worry about cracking. We don't need to worry about missing reinforcing in the concrete beams. We don't need to worry about fire rating issues everywhere, leaking plumbing, dodgy compliance, and not even having certificates of occupancy. These are all things that I've encountered just doing these videos. We now also have to contend with energy companies that have a monopoly in your building and own infrastructure in it. So this is an older article from 2018, but it is still as relevant today. So residents in apartment buildings slugged thousands to change power companies. As power bills surge, people are being told to shop around for cheaper deals. But if you live in an apartment block, switching electricity providers can be confusing, painstaking process with large hidden costs. Melbourne resident Jeremy Renard lives in a building with 175 apartments and for 2 years has been trying to change over from power provider WinConnect. WinConnect is one of Australia's largest providers of embedded networks, which is where a private company powers multiple properties in the same building. And before we go any further in this article, guys, just let me know in the comments what country or what nation owns WinConnect. Just looking at their website, maybe doing a quick ASIC search. Just let me know. Let me know where you think it's from. Okay? I'll have a shine of coffee. It's all good. I'll wait for the comments. So, it is quite difficult, as you need to assess who the meters belong to, and you either need to buy them back or get new ones, so you don't even own the meters in the building. We need to hire lawyers to help. It's extremely complex and time consuming. So Mr. Renard said residents in his West Melbourne building will have to pay $50,000 to replace the metering if they switch energy providers, but will save money in the long run. That's the thing. To invest 50 grand to get away from WinConnect, it's cheaper for them in the long run to do that. And, let me know, guys, if you live in an apartment, have you had to deal with this? How have you gotten around it? Was it a shock? We look at the savings, and just for the electricity, it could be $40,000 per year. In 2 years, you're already making a profit. There you go, 40 grand a year in the building. WinConnect's contract with the building has been in place since 2009 and states, we have the right to remove all hardware after providing you with the opportunity to purchase all or part of the hardware. See, that's the problem for the contract. You know, I'd have no problem with these in place if the hardware was the ownership was transferred. I mean, shouldn't they also be charging rent or be paying rent to the body corporate? Because that's common space that they're using. Mr. Renard, who is the Owners Corporation Committee Chair, said his building has to wait for the existing 5-year contract to expire before it switches providers. So urgent reform needed before it's too late. I think it already is too late. An embedded network essentially involves a contract between the building owners, sometimes the developer, and an energy retailer to supply power to those living in the building. Well, I can see you'd get, hopefully there'd be advantages with having that many people coming together to get you a bulk purchase. Doesn't look like it. And here we go. Here's who saves all the money. Developers save costs by contracting electricity companies to supply the infrastructure and the metering throughout an apartment complex. There you go. There you go. In return, the energy company is contracted to provide power. See, this is the thing. You can't occupy one of these buildings without electricity to it. I guarantee you'd have mechanical ventilation systems that are needed to achieve the requirements of the National Construction Code. Now, if you happen to fall into a disagreement with this company, or they go bust, or something happens, and they have to remove their infrastructure from it, then your apartment is no longer capable to be occupied, so then is it fit for purpose? Here's the question I ask you. If people want to implement this, sure, but the ownership of what they put in this common space needs to be transferred instantly to the body corporate. Maybe the body corporate owns it and they lease it from the body corporate for a period of time while the contract is in place. Because this is quite messy. So, in return, the energy company is contracted to provide power to the whole building, which can tie customers to lengthy contracts, some as long as 20 years. 20-year contracts to provide power. You can see why they're doing this. I'm surprised, are there any WinConnect bonds that are spun off that are tied to these? Probably are. They probably are. Under the contract, the company managing the embedded network can set prices on electricity tariffs, and if the agreement is terminated, they may remove the meters from the building. Strata lawyer Tom Bacon said with the explosion in apartment living and rising energy costs, there was an urgent need for reform to prevent electricity infrastructure being privately owned. Mr. Bacon said, while embedded networks operated on the presumption of lower costs, the power companies could charge any fee they like and trap customers within the network. So unless there's urgent reform, not next month, not next year, but right now, then it's going to be too late, he said. Mr. Bacon said high-rise dwellers would often discover they were caught up in lengthy contracts they did not know existed. The capital costs of having to pay for the retrospective installation of meters and conduit throughout the building is prohibitively expensive, Mr. Bacon said. Well, yes, it is. It is insanely expensive. So shop owners slugged with 60% bill increase. Fitzroy Foods store owner Meredith Stevens is also struggling to switch providers after being hit with a 60% increase to her power bill. While her usage has dropped slightly, her latest bill jumped from $1,000 to $1,600, although she was offered a 25% pay-on-time discount. Oh, well, isn't that nice? At first I thought it was a mistake. Then they said, nope, it's not a mistake. We've increased our rates, Ms. Stevens said. The business owner is finding it hard to absorb the cost after already cutting staff hours to stay afloat. Ms. Stevens said her main problem in finding a cheaper electricity deal is that her shop is part of an embedded network run by Plan Energy. Well, there you go. She said she had hit dead ends with other retail providers who said they cannot help her due to the existing embedded network. They won't even give me a quote, Ms. Stevens said. I can't seem to go anywhere else. Embedded networks are exempt from most national energy consumer protection laws. The Australian Energy Market Commission is currently drafting its recommendations for changes to put before the COAG Energy Council after a review found that many embedded network customers were not receiving better prices and were less able to change supplier. Victoria has made some changes in the past 18 months to give customers in embedded networks greater protection, including a register to see exactly who their provider is and better access to the state's energy and water ombudsman. Gerard Brody from the Consumer Action Law Center agrees changes are needed. It can be really tough to get out of an embedded network because the meters may not be compliant to access a competitive deal directly from a retailer, he said. It would be much fairer if developers or property managers installed compliant meters to begin with, so people could choose another energy retailer which may have a more competitive price. Well, this needs to be a marketing push. You know, if you're looking at apartments, ask the agent, is it an embedded network? Well, no, sorry. Oh, well, yes, no, give me 50 grand off the price. It's less competitive than building up the road. It has to come from the market. People need to be made aware of it and say, yeah, sure, give me a discount. I need a discount for this. In a statement, Plan Energy said the closure of Hazelwood Power Station was a major factor in its price hike. Oh, well, there you go. Why is that happening? But we've got all that other energy in Victoria. We've got all that other power in Victoria. Let's see if I can... where do I have that? I don't have it up at the moment. Just the amount of renewable energy that is generated in Victoria is quite insane. Here we go. I will overlay that. Nope. That's real estate property. Here we go. We'll overlay this. And we will reload the page. And we can just, see here what is being manufactured in Victoria, where the energy is coming from. So guys, it's one to be aware of. When the request to opt out is made, we generate a national meter identifier so the customer is then visible to the market. Plan Energy does not charge any fees for a customer to opt out, the company said. In a statement, WinConnect said, in cases where an owner's corporation chose to switch providers, it understood the incoming company would absorb the cost without passing it on to the consumer. Oh, bull. What bull is that? So let's have a look. Let's have some fun. We'll look at WinConnect and we'll look at some of their ratings that they have here. 1.5 stars out of 143 reviews. So we've got, electricity. Here we go. I've been with WinConnect for about 2 years, living in a city building. Had to call customer services to talk about electricity tariffs and have my call answered by Kira. Really happy. Okay, well, there you go. Bills always come on time and rates are good. Bills always come on time. Crimson Sun, I think that's... I can't believe it. Who would be happy the bills come on time? Come on. So here we go. Mary, August. If I could rate 0, I would. Since living in our apartment we bought a year ago, our electricity is twice the price despite our apartment being smaller and better insulated than our last home. Our last home had ducted heating, was very expensive to run, but our electricity bill was still cheaper. Our electricity prices are literally twice what we used to pay despite living in an apartment less than half the size of our last home. It is absolute robbery that what we pay now, even more so because we are trapped in an embedded network. No respect for this company whatsoever, and join with all the people who have complained so far. We are working tirelessly with our body corporate to find a way to break from this unethical and terrible company. We have always paid our bills on time and value ethical and fair companies that look after customers. This company only cares for their own profits and does not value people. How they can continue to charge such a high rate is beyond me. We have people who are elderly living in our apartment building who are trapped by this awful company. There you go. Here's another one. Network with WinConnect, avoid at all costs. They are simply uncompetitive. They use AGL's standard offer for electricity, which is the default retailer, but unlike other embedded network providers who use their discretion, and offer customers stuck with a monopolistic company lower rates than the standard offering, they follow it to a T. The service charges are exorbitant, 75%. Whoa! And conveniently, the meters apparently don't provide an open meter reading since they clear it every month. There you go. So there's no capacity for transparent review of usage. If I had capacity to leave this company, I would do so in an instant. Billing is absolutely disgraceful. There have been persistent errors in the bill for at least the past 6 months, as well as the irregularity in issue. See, so it's funny how they're saying it's all good and they're not. So, he goes on, update. 2 months on and I'm yet to receive the promised phone call from customer service. Update. In attempting to lodge a complaint through EWOV regarding the zeroed opening meter readings, I've been advised that WinConnect has not met the registration deadline set by the Essential Services Commission to allow consumers. Okay, well, there you go. I'm still becoming... So he's had an experience there. Got my first bill and hot water bill. My electricity bill is almost triple and double of my water bill. The apartment I moved in is downsized 30% of my old home. So there you go. This is the worst electricity company I've ever used. $300 for electricity reconnection is ridiculous. It's embedded electricity in my building. I have no other choice. Yeah. So guys, you can see there are a lot of consumer concerns with these type of embedded networks. So, have you ever had to deal with this? Would this affect your buying decision if buying an apartment or renting a premises? Let me know in the comments, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to help me produce more content like this, I have a Patreon and Subscribe Star you can take advantage of, and every bit helps. Take care, everyone, and I will talk to you later. And watch out for those integrated or embedded electricity providers.